rundown of my laser, if anyone's interested on how to use lasers, and especially a K40 laser, which is the cheapest laser that you can buy. I didn't go for the cheapest option. I went for an option that was imported and then looked over, like checked, added a few bits and then sent to me, which was by Omtech. So I think I spent about 450 on the actual laser in total, with all my mods and everything extra that I needed to buy, like the ventilation, air assist, new lens. Oh god, what else did I do? I'll show you in a minute. It was about 600 I think in total, but now I've got it and I love it, and it's been one of the best things I've bought. It's been an education, to say the least. I've definitely cut my teeth on this. I threw myself into the deep end, and luckily, touch wood, to now I've swam. So yeah, I'm able to make cool little things like this, and who knows what I'll be able to do in the future with it. I'm learning all the time, I'm experimenting all the time, and I love it. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. If anyone's interested in the laser stuff, I'll keep making the videos. So this is my workspace. Yay! So it's quite good actually. So I've got my laptop obviously hooked up, the laser next door, so I can sit down, do some work, and then keep an eye on the laser, which is really good. These are like just a little bucket for my little bits and bobs, my paper and stuff, which I take off the stuff, like the acrylic and the wood. My little notepad, which I've kept to do all of my settings for my laser for all the different materials. So that's been a trial and error. It's a work in progress, so every new material I'll test it, and then I'll try and get the best settings for it for my laser. These will be different to your laser. If you've got a K40, you have to do a little bit of testing out. So start off slow, start off low. Not slow and low, because slow is obviously really powerful. So I'd probably start off with a low. Let's see, so for poplar, which is a really light wood, which is what these are made out of, so to raster, I've found that the fastest I can do it is about 300. I could probably do it a little bit faster, at 30% power, engrave 30 millimeters per second at 20% power, cut I always do a 10 and a 25%. So that seems to work out really nicely for me. For poplar, I've done the same for birch, acrylic, slate, cork, glitter acrylic, which takes a few more goes because it's got to get through those little metal fragments, is what I'm thinking. And then acrylic 2 mil. So this is a 3 mil acrylic, and this is 2 mil acrylic, and these take a couple of cuts, which I find this works best for me, just to get a nice clean cut at the end. Yeah, and I started doing like times processing things, so I can do my, work out my workload and how long things are taking, but that's not too important. I kind of do it as it gets done. So yeah, so I've done, let's see, so these different necklaces. So sometimes I want to have like a different effect on something. So with these beautiful necklaces, I wanted a certain depth of this to be cut down, so it stood out nicely. So you had like a nice, just focus on that. Focus. Oh, it's not focusing. Yeah, so it has like a nice little depth, so you can see the actual letters nicely. So that was a bit of a trial and error as well, so I worked out those are my settings for that. And we've just finished this cut on the daisy bloom doodle. I always keep an eye on my temperature. I like to just turn that off. This is the laser power, so even if this started to go again, hopefully it wouldn't have any power going through it. So I always just got into the habit of always turning this off. I do have a kill switch here, a safety switch. If something goes absolutely mental in here, then I can just kill the laser, which is really good. I don't have one of the you lift the lid and it cuts it off. I've not fitted one of those yet. That is the next thing I want to do to this laser. We do have all the bits, we just need to do it. What else have we got here? So yes, we've got a temperature. This is the battery temperature. This is the temperature of the water in the tube. So this one is really, really important. I think optimal I don't think you want to go over, I think it's about 25. I mean, that's pushing it. I think you want to keep this nice and cool. I always try and keep mine between sort of 12 and 16, and that seems to work really well for me for the laser. Yeah, temperature of the battery, that doesn't seem to go up too much, especially on like a cool day today. It can stay around 22. It can go up to sort of 28, which is a little bit hotter. If that happens, I'll sort of turn the laser off, kind of let it cool down a little bit. But the running time of this, it's good. I can work all day pretty much, as long as I keep the water cool, which is in this little bucket down here. I've got some iced water which is kind of melted now, but this keeps, I just kind of switch them out every maybe couple of hours, and this keeps this water really nice and cool. I've got a little pump in there. This is distilled water. Do not put tap water in it. If you put tap water in it, your laser will make very strange noises and probably start to arc. Okay, so this is the laser tube. This is the lovely thing that makes all the magic happen. So this has got distilled water in it now, so yeah, so don't put tap water in there, else you're going to start getting arcing and really crazy, not good things happening in your laser tube. I've done a few things to this when I got it. Before I aligned everything on my laser, I did move my laser around. So you see this little air hole, this kind of air tube bit here. So we can't have any bubbles in like here or at the other end of this tube. So you have to lift the laser up a little, tilt it a little bit, and get all those air bubbles out of the water. I found that much easier because this was over here before. So I undid these. I counted the amount of times I unscrewed these screws on both, and then I gently twisted the tube so this was upright, and then I did the same amount of screws back to just try and keep everything straight and aligned, because obviously this is going to hit this first mirror here, and that's going to hit the other mirror, and that mirror is going to go down and hit the third mirror, and then cut everything that you need to cut. So you want to make sure everything's aligned, and that's a whole other video. I'll do an alignment video another day, but I'll just show you what I've actually done to mod this. So that's the first thing I did, is I twisted that around, so then it made it so much easier to get rid of these bubbles. So there's a tiny little bubble there, that's not too bad. But so when I first turn it on, you have to lift this one side up really, like this side, just lift it up slightly, and then just keep it tilted very gently. Make sure you don't drop the laser. You don't want that to happen. And then all the bubbles should filter out and pop out and then come through this tube, and then you've got a nice air-free tube. Because if the air bubbles do get trapped in here, they will expand and they could crack the tube where the laser's firing when it gets really hot. So that's why we have to get rid of all the bubbles. Okay, so I've just turned everything off so it's nice and quiet. I didn't realise how noisy that was going to be. It's actually, it doesn't run, like in reality, it doesn't run that noisy. It's really bearable. I can sit in here for hours doing everything, and I don't get bothered by any noises. So that's a massive win. Dave can't hear it. You can't hear it outside, so yeah, that's a real positive for me, that is. So this is the other thing. This is the exhaust. So this came with it, this like space age looking pipe. But it was actually a nice quality one. It wasn't flimsy, it works, it's secure, it's great. So I only had to get this extra one, which I got an extra long one, because I put it out of the garage door. And I added an inline fan to this. So this is I think it's about £35 off Amazon. And it just helps kind of boost the air out. I've found that it works with it. I mean, I've still got the internal fan running, so I'm not sure if I need to turn this off. I don't know if it competes, but I have found that it is working really well, and it does suck all the air out. So yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. I think if I was going to be maybe getting a bigger laser, maybe working with more bulk, more wood and things, I probably would get a better inline fan and switch off or disconnect the internal fan of the laser. So yeah, that's another thing I got extra. Now, the most important thing, or one of the really important things for me, was safety. So obviously with lasers, you must protect your eyes, even though there is this shield here. Now this is probably just a sheet of acrylic, and it is coloured, so I mean it does block some of the light, but I don't know if it blocks, oh, you can see my roof there, look. I don't know if it blocks all the rays of, you know, like the actual wavelength. It's orange, so I just think this is just a sheet of acrylic. So just to be extra safe, I bought some of these Cloudray safety glasses. Now these are specifically for lasers. They've been, let's see, they've got like a little thing on them which is etched somewhere, which I found the other day and I can't see it now. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see that. It's got the actual, there we go. It's got the wavelength that it can protect your eyes at, I guess, etched actually on the lenses themselves. So yeah, definitely, I mean, your eyesight is worth everything, isn't it? So definitely please invest, if you do laser, please invest in some goggles. They are worth it. You don't want to have any eye damage. And two of my fire extinguishers. So I've actually got 3. There's one in the kitchen, but I realised the other one that I bought was like a foam one, which isn't suitable for electrical equipment. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. So I got CO2. So both of these are suitable for electrical fires. And the reason why I wanted to get CO2 as well is that if I do have a little fire in here and I do have to spray, which is what this one's for. This is for like mini emergencies, and that's for like, oh my god, get out of the house emergency. I don't want to spray and absolutely cover the inside of my laser with foam, because I think that would just wreck everything, the lens, everything. The laser probably would either total everything and I couldn't use it again, or it would be an absolute nightmare to clean. And I might have to replace like lenses and all sorts. So I've got the electrical safe. I think the foam as well, I think it might conduct, possibly. That might be why it's not safe to use in electrical fires. And I'm guessing because of all the electrics in here, if it did catch fire, I would be spraying wires and things like that, which, you know, can be a bit dodgy, right? So I just want to be extra safe. So I've got a big CO2 there for big emergencies. Hopefully I'll never have to use it. And I've got the little one there. Again, hopefully I never have to use it. And I do keep over here, it's my air compressor. I love this so much. This is my, just going a bit off topic, my little airbrush machine, my little airbrush station. I'll show you what I do with that in another video. My little pot of goodies. But yeah, I keep like a little, I mean, this is empty right now. Obviously water and electric also they don't mix. So I'll like wet a rag, and I'll have like a wet rag, and that's just in case, say I'm cutting wood and something gets a little bit fiery. Maybe it will flare up a little bit, and I can just pop the wet rag on it and hopefully not splash everything in the laser. So yeah, so they're my safety precautions I've got. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no, I won't have to use them. And I always sit here and I never ever leave the laser running, even to go to the toilet. I always switch it off. Even like if I'm absolutely bursting, I'll just wait either for it to finish, or if I'm really desperate, I'll just stop it, switch off the power. I actually switch off the power as well. I'm a little bit paranoid because I don't, you know, but my family is in this house, so I need to make sure that everyone's safe. So laser's always turned off. If I go out the room, it's never on. I always keep the lid down as much as I can. I only open it if the power's off. So yeah, I found following these procedures and things, they're hopefully keeping me safe and the house safe and everybody safe. So yeah, and it just means I can have more fun designing and cutting and things. Okay, so we're in the actual laser itself. This is the bed. So this did come with, just take this out. There's loads of little things that are going to pop out now because I've just cut those little holes. Like, I'll just pop this over here. Okay, so here it is without anything in it. So what I did, the first thing I did is, so this came with a big, I think it's over here, that there, it came with a big metal kind of sheet in the top, and then a little tiny work area. It was much smaller than this, it's about that big, the actual work area. So I took all that out, and then I took all the bolts out as well with the help of Dave. So we took it out, and then because I needed to have a bed that moved up and down, I got this A4 size waffle bed, which is really, really good. So that lets the airflow go through your work. It's a little bit mucky at the minute because I've been working on it. Wood obviously makes a lot more mess than acrylic because of, I guess, all the sap and stuff that gets released. So yeah, so this goes on here, and then I can then adjust this up and down. So what I'll show you. So we put that in there like this, and then I use this, a little level, to, obviously I've set this level to my actual focal point, which I'll do in another video, setting your focal length of your laser. So I use this, make sure it's nice and level, because that's where I need it, and I can adjust it, put my hand down here, and I can twist it with my fingers up and down to make sure that it's the right focal length. So that's how I've got over that. So one of the absolutely necessary things that I put on this, which I put on first, was this air assist. This is definitely a must if you're getting a laser like this and modelling it yourself. Basically the air comes, so I've got this running through this little cable, what's it called, cable tidy, like a drag chain, sorry, this little drag chain. So it's running through there, that's running in there, look, through there, and then out the back like that, and it's going down to that little air pump there, so, or air compressor. So what this does, it makes sure that obviously if there's any little flames that come up, it blows it straight out, which is fantastic. It keeps your work nice and clean, or as clean as it can be, so it'll blow any dust or anything away, or any debris away. It just keeps it a lot safer to use, and safety is like an absolute must for me. So I really researched on how to do this and what I needed to do to make the laser, really, really safe. I got an electrician to actually make sure it was checked over before you even turned it on as well, just make sure it was earthed and all of that. That's really important as well. But this was a good one to get because they'd done all these checks, I think. Omtech did kind of on their end when they got this from China. So, but just as a double check, I did get an electrician to check it over for me. So yeah, that's the air assist. So I bought this off, I think it was off Amazon or Etsy. It's just a little rig, there's a little pipe there, a little metal pipe. I use a metal pipe because if the laser hit it, it's not going to melt it like it would if it was a 3D printed, because you can get those ones that have got like a little nozzle on and they're 3D printed, which are great, but I just decided that with a metal one, it's probably going to last me a bit longer. And I got some silicone tube. I got silicone because obviously if the laser hits this as well, it's a bit more protected, so it's safer. It's safe material to actually be in the laser. So anything that you put in the laser, you've got to make sure it is laser safe. So you don't want any PVC or anything like that, because that's polyvinyl chloride, and you don't want any chlorine gas to be released because that's very toxic and it could kill you. So you've got to be really careful with what you cut in here. I know I'm probably being really dramatic, but it's really, really important to make sure that you're dead safe. That's ironic, isn't it? That you're really safe, and just make sure that you find out what's in the materials that you cut, and to make sure that they are laser safe. So the next thing, this is a diode. This just shows you where the laser is going to be pointing. Mine's a little bit off today. It's a little bit to the left. I always do a little check before I start cutting just to see where the actual laser's hitting, and make sure it's not flaring off anything either, because that's happened before for no reason. So I've had to realign everything. So safety checks are always, is everything working, is everything running smoothly, is the air assist on, how's the laser firing today. So yeah, so that will show you where everything's been cut. I did buy a new lens. Oops. I did buy this new unit here, although, okay, so because of this Uber Duber fan over here, or this vent, I did buy like the, I can't remember what it's called now, the big blue lens, the big laser head, and it had like an attachment at the bottom with air assist built into it. Because it was too long, it basically wouldn't, like, it was too long for this, it kept hitting it when it went back, because it goes past this to get back to home, which is over there, so I couldn't use it. So I used the bottom of it, and then I've just kept the top, original top on there, and I've got my lines there of where my little guides for my alignment. Oh, it's a whole story with the alignment. This did take months to kind of work out and set up, but I did have to raise this head up a little bit just to get everything where it should be, but I'll do it, it's far too in depth to kind of go into this video, but I will do a video about that at some point. I always try and keep my bed nice and clean. Nothing that doesn't need to be in the laser, just take it out, just clear out any wood. You don't want any fire hazards in there, because this is a very powerful laser. It's only a 40 watt, but it can, you know, it does set fire to stuff, and it can, you know, it cuts by setting fire to things, so you just got to be really careful with that. What else did I do? Let's have a think. I think that's basically it. I moved the diodes, the cables. I did zippy tie them down securely, so I don't want them flapping about in the laser. These were in the cable drag, but then I had a whole issue of, like, if I put a bigger cable drag on it, I would have had to take out this whole thing and then it was a bit too much for me at the time. So I just cable tied everything together and everything down, just to make sure it was all out of the way of the laser and not flapping that in the actual laser bed itself when it was working. There's a little light back there, which is nice. So yeah, that's where I am, that's how I'm set up. It's working really well for me. The alignment, I've got a spot on now, which is really, really great. It did take a while to kind of figure it all out, but I'll do an alignment video soon. If you're interested, let me know. But yeah, this is my laser, and this is my blue baby. This is my little baby, and yeah, she's a good one. She's definitely a good one. I definitely will be working with her for a long time. So yeah, thanks guys. Hope that was informative. I hope I could pass on some sort of knowledge that I've gained by doing this. And if you'd like to know more about all of this, then let me know and I'll do some more videos. Alright guys, catch you later.